My dad's like, you know, that's really scary because like when we had grandpa there, like they check everything, especially. They're like, nah, forget about it. You go here and help yourself. You know what? He's like, he's like on the other side. He's like, I've been freaking out. I'd have been down there at the end of the day. Like, what have you done? Like, I know that when it's in, I should have a number if you want to call it. I'm gonna just run up on her and live left 60 high and dry. I've had it. I told the board mission. I wasn't. This is all thing you can imagine. So,
Yeah, they look cute. What? No, Ellie Sandler. Jurassic Park. Yes. Okay. Yes. Park. Yes. Dr. Gray right here soon. Like 3 days. Shut up. Okay, so that's perfect. Let's guys on Zoom. Missing out on all like my costume. I normally don't wear a sweatshirt, but it's a black. I'm a black cap.
Mean that is your costume.
Yes, I'm a black cap. It's all black, and I have 2 stripes.
Very subtle.
Yeah.
Just like, where did you even make that? It's not.
Okay, I will do 2 more minutes. We don't have very many pictures.
I know. Tell them that she needs to close it. But she never.
Okay. Welcome everyone to TPA today. Does anyone have any wins?
I don't think anyone's.
Hello. Oh.
But she made it feel like I had not been in contact with her. And I was like, I have to check out you. Like, I don't know. I don't know what either. Well, probably usually how, yeah, I don't they're all
Good morning. We got a new sheriff in town. Got wizarding.
That is a wizard.
All right.
That is.
How are you? Great. Happy Halloween. All right.
It's quiet. It's her fault. It's her volume quiet.
Am I more quiet than usual, or is my volume more quiet?
Yes.
Testing.
Is it 3? Is it more quiet? I can hear you.
Hear me?
Okay.
All right. So I think maybe we should bring everyone in here and close the garage, just since Chili will be running and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, let's maybe do that. So can I get everyone to actually move into the training room?
Polly, come sit down. We're going up. Yeah.
Let's move it in. I'm gonna have Jeff close the garage just so that as people bring Chili in, keep the meeting running. You might need to turn this down back there.
Can we move up into the training room, please?
All ghosts, ghouls, and other Halloweeners, if you can move into the training room, we're gonna close the garage door for today's meeting. I'm gonna share it now. Good luck. Yeah. Liking it. All right. We ready to shut that down?
Yeah.
Almost ready.
Okay, closing the garage. Oh, the watch out.
All right. That way, as we get chili drop off and things set up in there, we can keep them rolling. Good morning.
Good morning.
So let's hear some wins. Y'all didn't go through that yet, right? Other than this being the most fantastic view I think I've ever had at team meeting, that'll be my win for the day.
So I didn't want to do the open house. But we put it on Friday, open house Saturday, 11 to 12 before the game. There was a constant train of people. We put it up with seller finance. By today, we've got 4 offers, 3 seller finance offers, and the seller is recognizing her principal residence exclusion, so almost non-taxable in all the equity. And now she'll have money to buy another property or 2.
Congratulations. No, Jack. We have that mic for a second. So, seller finance. This is something that I expect we're going to continue seeing more and more of. Will continue to be a force and an influence in our market as we come up with creative strategies to handle interest rates. Where do you get your information about seller finance? How do you share that with clients and explain? Give us kind of Reader's Digest version of how you explain this opportunity to your clients.
It's a process over the years of people that are willing to do it. And I usually explain it in the way of, this will get more people in. And you don't have to accept it if you don't want it, but it's a great marketing ploy. And then when you actually get the offer, or after you've listed it, you kind of explain what it would mean and how it could work. And a lot of times, they're semi-warm to it. But then if you bring a spreadsheet along that shows the numbers, then they're like, I love this, because typically your client will make anywhere between 50 and 100,000 more on a $500,000 property over the life of the term. And they get excited about that. And cash flow is something that they really don't want a pile of money. They want long-term cash flow. Secondly, if you're an investor, you can certainly talk about the tax benefits and why it might make sense, and they get excited about not paying Uncle Sam. So that's how I usually approach it, but I use it as a, you want to do this for a marketing standpoint, and even though you may not understand it, let's give ourselves the best chance to get you the most money and accomplish your goals.
I love that. I love it. So giving an overview, opening the possibility, confirming that they don't have to move forward with something, but it is going to increase the likelihood that they get an offer and the number of offers. And then having a spreadsheet so that they can understand the numbers and really see the advantages to work with them. Very well done. All right, Karen, are you sharing a win?
Yeah, I have a win, well, seller finance as well. I have a closing today on my warehouse condo. And good thing we did it seller financing, because I kind of think you can't get a loan on that building right now anyways. More than 50% of it, it's not a very large down payment. But I highly recommend if you do seller finance, you take the class with Jack's Petty, and then they have an advanced class. And you know, back in 2007, one of my first seller financing was a house in Glen Wild, $2.5 million, that worked so well with seller financing even back then. And anyhow, it's been a win-win for this client and the building itself, so. Brought him up on layers, and he'll help you with any, another thing I also had him do is have a conversation with my client, she's out of town. So we did a conference call so he can explain, he also has much better addendum, and that, I thought you saw that. But anyways, he puts together to kind of cover a lot, the one on the MLS, very, very weak. Doesn't really call everything out, so definitely, and I can share that agenda with you and maybe we can.
That would be great. Yeah, we can include that in the recap email. That'd be great. And then Karen, while you have the mic, the win that I would share is to introduce our newest agent.
Oh.
So this is Christoph. He just joined the brokerage and will be working with the Karen Hansen team. And Karen, do you want to just introduce Christoph?
Yes, this is Christoph, and I've known Christoph forever, great guy, and comes with tons of, not really real estate experience, but people experience, and great person to get to know. He's gonna do very well.
A lot of
Super excited.
travel experience.
Yes.
So there's a lot of agents in here that are going to want to talk to you.
He is, has some travel company, used to be, he was the head of the Gold Learner program at the University of Utah. We did our Sicily trip with, and quite a few trips with them. So, yes.
Well, welcome, Christoph, and thank you. Yeah, Karen, if you will send me that addendum, I'd love to include that in the recap. All right, I don't know if we have a broker moment. Well, let's go back to broker moment. Any broker questions while we're on broker moment? Okay, you know where to find me if you come up? Yes, Tony.
The best broker moment you have is when you call our broker hotline. They answer, they help you get the questions. You got a difficult on the other side. Got a difficult agent on the other side. Mac is very good at helping the other agent be more professional. And it's just a power play that's easy. So take advantage of the broker call.
I love that. Thanks for that plug. And yes, please make sure that you save that broker hotline number. That will ring multiple brokers at once and make it so that you have the highest chance of getting an answer quickly to your questions. All right. September awards. So congratulations to those agents that capped in September. I know we're getting to awards really late this month. But coming in right under the wire at the very end of the month, we had of course our business planning session and then the 411 clinic that threw off our schedule a little bit. But while we're still in the month of October, let's celebrate the previous month's production. So congratulations to those who capped in the month of September: Dustin Bradbury, Tony Hellman, Michael Hespop, Terry Simper, and Yaniv Vasquez. I think Michael is the winner for the month of capping the most quickly. He was about 6 weeks from start of cap to capping, so congratulations for that. Congratulations for those who had their first closings in the month of September: Amy Vaughn, Lindsay Pratt, Michael Hespop, and then first listings: Courtney Wolfenden, Lindsay Pratt, and Michael Hespop. And then our top listers for the month. So congratulations to Giovanni Castillo for having 3 listings, Eladio Serrano for having 2, Sherry Rice for having 2, and Britt Kirshner for having 2 listings. And then for our teams and groups, the David Gomez team had 1 listing, Jupiter had 13 listings, and Bustos and Reardon Real Estate had 11 listings. Congratulations. And then Frost Real Estate had 5, Gamboa Group had 2, and KW Latino had 2. Congratulations. And then for closings, our top individual closers, looks like we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-way tie for second place. So congratulations to our top closer in the month of September. Shauna Winters had 4 closings. And then for our 4-way tie, congratulations to Joanne Anderson, Ashley Lindsay, Tony Hellman, and Search Utah Homes and Team Orlandini, all 2 closings each. And then congratulations to the Hampton team for their 1 closing. And then for teams and groups, congratulations to Clava Group for their closing, Frost Real Estate for 2 closings, Utah Casa Group with 6 closings, Bustos and Reardon, and Gamboa Group for 7 closings each, KW Latino for 9 closings, and Jupiter for 14 closings. And those with $1 million month, Shauna Winters led the pack with a $2.193 million month. Shauna, also celebrating $1 million month, Joanne Anderson, Tony Hellman, Lindsay Kratz, and Ashley Lindsay. And then our teams and groups with $1 million month, we have Jupiter leading the pack with $8,271,900. Congratulations. And then we've got Gamboa Group, KW Latino, Bustos and Reardon Real Estate, Utah Casa Group, and Frost Real Estate, all celebrating $1 million month as well. All right, and our top 3 in volume for the month in any category, individuals, teams, and groups. Again, leading the pack, we have Jupiter at $8,271,900 in volume. Gamboa Group came in second at $3,402,900, and then KW Latino in third at $3,234,400. Sorry, it's top 3. Congratulations. So I know we've got a few of you here that are the winners for the month of September. Ruben, will you start us out? Just grab the mic and share a couple of things that worked for you last month in having such a great production month. I mean, 9 closed units, is that
Closed units, yes. Honestly, I think it's just momentum from the summer. We're riding that momentum out to the end of the year, looks like. But it was a ton of work that was put in the summer to be able to do that. I would say that's kind of what it came down to.
Got it. So putting in the work and then trusting the results will come around. I love that. Lindsay, you had $1 million month. What worked for you?
Well, these sellers I've been working on for years. They've had their go-to agent that he golfs with all the time and felt loyalty to that. And I just kept pushing it and finally got the listing, and will forever forward, as they say, continue to sell their homes. So persistence, I don't know.
Persistence, consistency, momentum. I'm liking this. Coco, can you share for Gamboa Group what worked for the month?
Yeah, something that we're really focusing on right now is just becoming more better at being skill-based. So we're doing role plays. We're really pushing ourselves when we have like a point system for each day to show that we are performing money-making activities like prospecting, making appointments, things like that. And then also we've had a big focus on our top 50, really engaging with them. And right now we're finishing up giving these super cute little coolers with a little thermos, and then we're finishing up those this month, and then we're going into our holiday gifts, which is a super cute doormat, and then also a candle. So some of our clients are getting candles, some are getting doormat, and then it's just that one-on-one interaction when we go to deliver. And
So just that intentional focus. And that's fun. And then Ashley, how about you? What's been working for you?
Same thing, just consistency, like not backing off, still reaching out to my top 50 and my SOI every single day, still maintain contacts.
So consistency, persistence, focus on that top 50, and maybe not buying into the mindset that nobody's gonna do anything. Or if it doesn't turn into a listing that day, then the day was shot, and you should probably not focus on doing it the next day, but just consistently. I love it. Thank you. All right, another round of applause for all of our monthly award winners. All right, happy anniversary to Amanda Stever, Michael Worrell, Britt Kirshner, Kimber Walton, Jordan Harris, Deidre Tidwell, Brianna Lamb, Eladia Serrano, and Stephanie Miller. We are so grateful to be in business with you. Our next quarterly market update is November 2nd. Remember, this is a virtual event. So you will log in via Zoom, make sure that you've registered for this. It's always important to know what's happening in the market. This is a more critical time than ever for you to really build your skills with understanding the stats and being able to convey that information to your clients. When you build a high degree of skill with this, it will elevate your buyer consultations and make it more likely that you are able to support buyers that want to move forward and getting over the line. It will make a difference with your listing appointments. It will make a really big difference as we are holding listings for longer and starting to have those weekly conversations where we are updating the seller on what's happening with the market and what's happening with the marketing of their home to help them better understand that within the scope of what's happening in the greater market, and to know what to expect is so critical. So while I think all of the market updates are good and important to be tuned into, right now, this is one that I would say absolutely everybody should be tuning into this, pulling out your favorite slides, workshopping and masterminding this with groups, with other agents, and really, like I said, building your proficiency with telling that story. And the first step to building that proficiency and telling the story is hearing the story. So be there the 2nd from 10 to 11:30 a.m. And then when you tune into the quarterly market update, know that it's our very own Gordon here that puts together that data and those slides. So if there are data points that are not included in that market update that would make a difference to you and to your business, or if there's something that that Johnny goes through in those slides that you don't feel like you have a clear understanding of, please lean into that resource. Gordon really loves noise happening outside of his office. He loves energy, and he also loves to be a resource and to support the other agents. So don't hesitate to go and talk to him about that and use him as the resource that he is. We have a mastermind coming up on November 6th. That's Monday, that I'm really excited about. So Taylor Julian, who is our official KW military rep for our market center, he is in the Utah Army National Guard, as well as being an agent. And he has gotten very involved in the tools and technology that's available through KW military, and really is focusing on this being a specialty niche in his business. So this mastermind, he will be sharing a lot of the tools that that he has learned to utilize through KW military, as well as talking about what the opportunity is for working with military clients in Utah, what marketing strategies you may want to put into place if this is something that you're wanting to work with, what programs you need to be aware of so that you can help take care of these clients and make them aware of it. And then I cannot remember the lender's name right now, but he is with Patriot Home Loans. We'll be talking about options with military benefits in terms of loan programs, and specifically how this can be used to help military recipients of those benefits to build wealth and to invest. So this is a mastermind opportunity that is open to any agent that has a desire to work with the military community, you do not have to be active duty military or veteran in order to participate. So if this is a niche that you want to work with or that you want to learn more about, that will be here at the Market Center, 11 to 1 on November 6th, and lunch will be provided. And then digital vision board. So the next part of our business planning series, we've had our business planning workshop with the 411 clinic in team meeting. And now, you know, it's making it visual and pretty and making those big whys and the goals, the vision behind your business goals really come to life in a visual way. So the Home Hub will be presenting this. This will be Thursday the 9th. And we'll be at the Salt Lake office, and 4 to 6 p.m. They'll have drinks, appetizers, mindset, and inspiration. Should we cook up? So right after this, it's been fun watching the chili and goodies come in the back, and make sure that you remember to judge your favorite so that we can crown our new chili king or queen. So we talked a little bit about this last team meeting, but wanted to go through it again and make sure everyone's clear and on board of what we're doing. So as a Market Center, we have a big goal to grow to over 200 agents. And we have kind of danced with that number for a while. Right now we're at 183 agents, right on that, somewhere right there. And so as a leadership team, and including our ALC, we are really focused on growing with the right agents that we want to be in business with and getting over that 200 number. And the very best, fastest, easiest, greatest way for us to do that is for all of our agents to be a part of that growth. The reason that's the very best, fastest, greatest way for us to grow is that there's a good amount of quality control and vetting that happens if you work with an agent that you are really impressed with and you introduce them to me. I already know that that's the kind of agent that we want to be in business with, and that that's a better representation of us out in the marketplace. So you cut down on the vetting that I have to do, which I appreciate. And also, you know, helps pass the vibe check and make sure that we're bringing in people that we're going to want to spend time with and mastermind with and grow with. You also, just by like power of scale and velocity, have more relationships than my relationships alone. And so the more you are reaching out to relationships that you have and helping introduce me to those agents, again, it makes it so that it's faster moving forward. The reason it benefits all of us to grow, one, we have this beautiful space that it's really, I think those of you who come in and work in the office, when it's a full house, when we've got lots of agents here, there's a real buzz that happens. And so the more agents that we have, the more we have grown, the more we all get to benefit from that buzz. The more experiences that we get to lean into. And as we're having these masterminds and workshops, the more depth of experience that we can pull from. The more profit that we have as a company, which then allows us to bring more programs, great trainings. An espresso machine, I think, is the top of the list for the ALC, and Pebble Ice. It's kind of a toss up between which one is the most popular request between those two. But we have the ability to do all of that when we have profit. And then profit share. And this is something that in the coming weeks we're going to talk more about. Because I think it's something that we don't talk enough about. It is a really unique part of our culture at Keller Williams that the owners don't just take the profit, that the profit actually gets split between owner investors and the agents that help us grow. So there's a lot of benefits to all of us growing together. To support that and make that benefit even more, we are running a fabulous contest through the end of the year. So this goes through how you earn points. There's a few different ways to earn points. You can earn points just by turning in an agent name, so you don't have to say anything to them. You don't have to tell them that you're giving me their information. You can just say, hey, I did this great deal with John Doe, and here's his information. Give him a call. This is the kind of agent you want to get this with. You get a point for that. Those points double if you will send a text to John Doe and copy me on it. So we have a little group text going and just say, hey, John, I want you to meet Robin. She's the CEO of our office. I've told her this and this about you and said that I thought the two of you should meet. And that's all you have to do. Then you get to 2 points. 5 points if you bring an agent that is not yet with Keller Williams to a KW event. So you can bring them to team meeting. You could bring them to our vision board event. A little late now, but you could bring them to the chili kickoff and any sort of KW event that we host. If you bring an outside agent to that event and introduce them to someone on the leadership team so that we know that they're there, then you get 5 points. If you refer an agent that is not yet with Keller Williams and they agree to come in and meet with me, then that is 10 points. And then if you refer an agent that is not yet with KW and they join KW, then that is 20 points, right?
20, yeah.
Yeah, 20 points. So what do you do with all of these good, great, and fabulous points at the end of the year? So the last day of December, whichever agent has accumulated the most points will receive a free ticket to family reunion. So you can go and hang out with us in Vegas. If you have already purchased your ticket, then you could use this ticket to bring a friend, or we will just refund you what you paid for your ticket. So you'll still get to go for free. Any questions? All right, who's gonna win? Yes, we will have this posted, it will be in the recap, and we've got really super cute game board pieces. You get to be little cartoon characters, it's a lot of fun. I love prizes, but honestly, I just love winning. So there will be the opportunity for that. Oh, Jess, sorry, go ahead.
This one, I was just gonna say, we still have discount tickets for 2 weeks.
Okay, well, thank you for that announcement. Okay, so discount tickets for another 2 weeks. We've got the sign up sheet on the bulletin board if you're curious who is already signed up, registered for family reunion. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I am really excited with the group that we have going. I expect that this is going to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest year ever as far as attendees from our region. We are also doing our regional awards rather than doing that as a separate event. You know, usually we do like a gala downtown. Rather than doing a separate event for that, we are going to be hosting that gala at family reunion in Las Vegas. So it will be bonus, super extra fun.
Jess, and it's my first time, so come.
And it's just his first time at family reunion, so you all have to be there. Let's give that a round of applause for
How much is the discount right now? Is it $7.99?
I think it is. It's still $7.99.
$7.99.
It's
$7.99 for the next 3 days, and then it goes up $100.
No, they actually, I think.
They extended it 3 days. So it's
Oh, I
2
thought it
weeks.
was 2 weeks. Send it into the park.
The
Yeah.
email I saw this morning said it was through Halloween.
Maybe Johnny told us wrong then. Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
listen to John.
So just get it now. So just get it now and you'll for sure get the discount, so don't worry about 2 weeks, just get it now.
Any other family reunion questions? Oh,
I'm sorry, I was like.
we're done. So any coming soon listings that are not yet on market that you want to brag about?
We are bringing one of the most beautiful properties to ever see the Salt Lake City market to market on Thursday. It'll be priced about 1.29. It's right in the corner, the southwest corner of Harvard Yale. 3-bed, 2.5 bath. It has been gutted down to the studs, completely renovated with very high-end, beautiful finishes. So I would love for you all to bring me a buyer, hopefully one that wants to pay cash. Fantastic. No, it's a really beautiful property. You should for sure come see it. I think we're going to try and host a brother open this weekend, as well as an open house for the general public. So keep an eye out. It should be beautiful.
Love it.
Yay.
Congratulations, that project has
Yeah.
been a labor of love, emphasis on the labor, so.
Very much so.
Anyone else? Tony,
Oh, I got the most beautiful property in Lehigh. Like, Doherty. It'll be a 5-bedroom, 3-bath home in the Davenport condo. It'll be priced at probably $490. And it will have seller financing available on it also for the flexible close date. And the great thing about that area is it continues to be nationwide, one of the fastest growing areas. So you got investors who are looking to put money there, but it's also one of those starter prices and what tends to be a very expensive neighborhood anymore.
all right, anything else not yet on market? Tony, you've got a new one. This is one that's going under contract, West Valley.
Yes.
Okay, so won't spend too much time talking about that. Liz, anything you want to share about Cameron's new listing at the Ridge? Looks like it's listed at 685, 2-story, built in 2016.
It's a great little house that has great views of Utah Lake. It's in Saratoga Springs and you can see the lake. You can see the lake from the deck. It's a great house. It has an unfinished basement, so if they wanted more room, they could do that, but it's a great little property.
All right. Well, congratulations again to Tony and Cameron and Britt Kirshner, Joe Reardon, Michael Heslop, and Tiffany Nagley, who all have new listings this week. So in honor of our very spooky holiday, let's talk a little bit about the spooky stories we tell in the dark about what's happening with our market right now. What are some of the things that are scaring you or scaring others?
You do, because I was holding.
Oh,
That's right. Go on. Yeah. Yep.
I don't think that house is worth the price.
okay. Don't think the house is worth the price. And is that something that you're feeling or that you're hearing from people?
More than I'm fearing.
Okay.
I mean, almost $500,000 in West Valley.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So fear over pricing and value. What else? What are the things that are going bump in the night for you right now?
Of making a lateral move. Because interest rates are so high that they are concerned that, heck yeah, I can sell my house for more money than what I owe on it, but now my interest rate is so high that it's gonna, I might stay with it.
8.1%.
Yeah.
You have nightmares, don't you? And they might go higher.
Hey,
And they might go higher. Let's
Maybe even a lot higher.
What else?
Mine goes along with pricing and value. I had a seller this week that I gave them a value of $349 and they're like, that's way too low. It's worth at least 400. And I'm like, nope, it's not. We can make it worth 400 if you want to do some stuff and put in some work, but they don't want to do that. They just want to sell it as is.
The seller's thinking their home's worth more.
I think you're starting to see that more before they kind of get away with not doing some upgrades and now they're not able to get away with it as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a market where we could get away with more aspirational pricing. There was a market where we really didn't have to do the upgrades, the updating, the staging in order to get the value. And I wouldn't say we're in that market now. Anything else? It's like the most fearless group.
You already got me 3 offers. I don't want to make a decision until we get 10.
Okay. So unrealistic expectation for number of offers.
The one that I hear probably, but are we just talking about like what buyers and sellers are saying or?
What you're feeling too.
Oh, I.
What you're feeling, what you're
I
hearing.
think that's the thing that I have to keep on remembering in my mind, because I want to hear the market is slow. And so if I hear the market is slow. And I buy into it,
Mhm,
I'm gonna have a slow, probably a slow year.
mhm.
So to me, I'm looking at somebody else that's doing bigger business than I am, and think if I did their business, that would be my best year.
Mhm.
And so I think that's my biggest problem is, like, even having this conversation, I want to kind of walk out because I'm like, put your earmuffs on. Make your own reality.
Anyone feeling anxious about the NAR lawsuit? Is that a thing that goes bump in the night for anyone? Judge stopped by the office or by the training room to tell me that. I don't want to miss this peak, but all right, I'm not going to speak. I'm going to research it while we do this next part. But it sounds like there was a,
There was a ruling,
what's that?
there was a ruling.
Yeah, do you want to share that ruling, Jordan?
They ruled in favor of the plaintiff.
Will you say that for Zoom?
Yeah, we say that into the mic for Zoom.
There was a ruling on the NAR lawsuit and they ruled in favor of the plaintiff. Agreed
What
that
are
there-
you talking
agreed
about
that
me?
there was collusion around fixing the price commission.
So will you give Reader's Digest version for anyone that this has not been something that goes bump in the night for them?
Yeah, so there was a lawsuit in Missouri stating it was a class action lawsuit. A bunch of home sellers were claiming that agents and the National Association of Realtors had colluded to fix the price of buyers agency commissions at 3%. So they sued the National Association of Realtors and several of the major national brokerages against it. In a class action lawsuit asking for $1.8 billion in damages. And so the lawsuit went on, and this morning the jury came back and ruled in the favor of the plaintiffs, saying that there was in fact collusion, there was in fact price fixing, and those home sellers were damaged. So
This morning.
the
Yeah.
good news is in the words of my favorite mentor, Gary Keller, try and come take that money, but we'll see what happens from here.
Okay. That's a big one that goes bump in the night. That's one that I've been watching for, and that I'm not necessarily surprised by the result, nor do I think that means the sky is falling. And the reason we're going through and talking about all of these in part, other than it just kind of going with the Halloween theme, is that when you've got this scary monster under your bed, when you've got that thing that goes bump in the night, the very best thing you can do is shine a light on it. And when you shine the light on it, at least in my experience, knock on wood so far, every single time, I have found that it has been nothing to fear. And because I'm dealing with the reality of it, not the fear and the work that you can build around it. So, anything else that we should have on this list of things that are?
Hi, along those lines, I'm noticing the BAC on a lot of listings are 2.5%. Instead of, since we're kind of on that subject. It just seems to be a trend right now that the listing agent is getting the, 3.5 and only offering 2.5. It seems to the buyer's agents. And I guess you can negotiate that, but it makes me wonder if the listing agents might try to shuffle an offer under the, under the stack. If that's the case, that you try to get the 3%.
Well, and depends on what happens with the next steps after this lawsuit. We may see that BAC being tied to the listing changes.
So I would like to know, maybe I just don't really understand, who come up with 3-6%, you know? Over the years, it's been pretty average, 6%. And so. Is that set in stone? I mean, I know that some agents ask for 4.
Yeah, it's anything that is set across the board would be price fixing, which is the exact
And which is what?
issue that this lawsuit
But
has
it
to do
seems
with.
like most of the agents that I know of in the last 20-some odd years have just stuck to that 6%.
Yeah, and it has depended on, there have been regional variances, there have been, property price or type of property, variances. But without going into specific numbers, I think it is fair to say, just looking at the data, there has been more of a compression of commission. Whether that is a lower VAC being offered, or whether that is less of a threshold for sellers to pay more in commission, sellers looking for less expensive ways to get their property sold.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that the listing agent is listing it for 5 either, you know?
No, there's,
So I just think that it's just become kind of a trend.
and you will typically see, because right now, the way our VAC is structured, and again, I want to be really careful about how we talk about this, because this is something I really do expect is going to change. But because right now, the VAC is marketed with the property, you will find most agents are going to advise their sellers to offer a competitive VAC, so that there is not a reason for people to look at a different property other than theirs. Now, you'll see all sorts of differences with that. You'll see some that's not the way the listing agent handles it or advises, that the seller doesn't care and does it their own way. You'll see some that are going to offer significantly more. You'll see some that offer significantly less, but overall, because it is most common for agents to advise their clients to be competitive with that VAC offering, if it is an area or a market where you are seeing a lot of listings offered at 2.5, you will see more listings offered at 2.5. If it's an area that most of the properties are at 3, you will typically see more offering. At 3.
Am I the only one that's noticed that?
No, it's across the board. It's across the board.
And do most agents, that especially seasoned agents, just put an addendum or more, or do they just accept
It doesn't need to be an addendum. It's just it's in your listing.
Well,
agreement.
So I was just,
So I want to take, because I don't want to stay just in the problem. I want to shine the light on these. So let's count off by 3. And then Zoom, we're not going to forget about you. Rihanna, will you maybe just lead kind of a chat with Zoom? So let's just count off by 3. So Sean.
2,
3.
1, 2, 3. 1,
2,
3.
1.
2.
3. 1. 2.
We jumped around a little bit there. And 3? 3, I think. Yeah, okay. So 1s come to the front of the room, 2s in the middle, 3s in the back. And Zoom, you're in your own group. Because there is so much power in the fact that you are not on an island by yourself navigating this market. You are part of a brokerage, and not just a brokerage, but a brokerage that has a culture of collaboration. We're going to collaborate to shine a light on it. All right. So each group, before we get too far into this, each group, if you will pick one of these things that goes bump in the night, and just brainstorm as a group what strategies do you need to have in place to address this? How might you talk to your clients about this? And how might you talk to yourself about this? What self-talk would be helpful in making sure that this doesn't become the fear that keeps you from moving forward? Because I can tell you that even if all of these were a capital T truth, there will be people in this market that still transact regardless. Even if all of these things, even if you shone the light on it and the boogeyman really was there will be agents who have their best year ever in this market with those conditions. And then there will be agents who freeze and buy into the fear of this and don't get ahead of strategy and get stuck. So, we need to bring this group up with this group. Did y'all lose your people?
Scared. Very intimidated.
Everything went well with the night.
All right, so let's take 10 minutes and then we will go and enjoy our chili cook-off and our festivities. But pick one of these and just brainstorm, what are the ways that you're going to this for being boogeyman for you?
I don't.
Have a new kid.
Making a lateral.
Ready? Point one of us in the green house.
Sure.
What's the problem with that?
A year and a half ago, I was different. Right now, but you're having money. Yeah.
Say it's.
July.
Cheaper monthly payment or cheaper total cost?
What would be your permit for
Lateral.
not a down payment?
What is?
I can honestly, 8% having a 8%, is it not?
Farm does an 8% interest rate. I closed one yesterday. I didn't like that. I talked to the first bank.
Like, no.
Fire mortgage, if he doesn't refinance or does not change.
Their bottom line.
It's just monthly payments.
Right now, or
They closed yesterday.
with 1.7 something.
Okay, that probably didn't work. You're next.
So I want our third option. Interest rate items are an illusion.
Yeah.
So there's one about one. I mean, I was flying closely here probably.
Well, it's just like, it's another. Like, you know, with your.
Assumables are also an option. That's not the super long option, which are just very difficult and most.
Letting the market later, like
Some
now.
financing
it's still
option.
time for development to associate with the buyer. So, and especially in our buyers, it's not about the dating part of our purchase, it's about the actual purchase itself, not one rent. But then you can be very fine, it's 100% interest rate. Still can. Maybe ask a lot of questions.
So part of the things that I think have to be real is like, if you're a buyer in today's market, and you're not paying that, and I'm looking at a high rent for 2,600 house or something, right? Buy a equivalent property and I'm thinking it's 3,400, which might be. 9 out of 10 times. One, like, we have seeing it 8%. So like, they're probably gonna come down in the next 2 years.
I mean, how wouldn't it be better to almost pay it now? Yeah. Right now, since you don't even are really color finance for free. You know, give me a, you know,
Right now, every builder has- every builder is pushing on that incentive to get up to 100%. We find that we can provide everything plus clients and then they can start on each.
The other side of that is.
Builders are holding on in. And they. When you. So. Right now is 8.1%, like, you're not paying. So let's focus on. How we buy that. Builders, where they have financing options, like a neighboring homes right now. It's one of the things. They're doing, they are actually sharing that for next years. Yeah, they have money, so they are actually, rather than that one is sold like any year, right? And it goes through traditional mortgage companies, they buy the mortgage. What's the risk of waiting?
But I was for people to put on, we like to use 520 and then you know, rates are still high, but now the builders are like, very early for one. So now we're gonna jack our price again. You can get it.
What happens, like, okay, let's say like, we fast forward 18 months, 2 years, interest rates go from 8 to 6, what happens?
Comes out, they're dividing. That's something everybody wants to.
This-
Everybody
the
that's
last
been standing on the side now.
Yeah.
You come out.
The last statistic I heard, 1% change in interest rate. So you should be able to buy or something.
Like when they're raising.
We're just being in it. All those.
You can refer all of them.
You got it? Okay.
I will handle all of these.
No, I mean, it's just- but the interest rate. I thought it was. I was saying.
All right, 1 minute left, let's start wrapping up.
Death, divorce, dying on diapers. So death, divorce, dying on diapers.
The house is in our neighborhood, went from, you know, from 1 to 400. And I was able to go down to.
I've been told there's 5 users.
But that's what changes. I think people, you know, it changes. Is, people think that they, yes.
It's like,
There you go.
they have a baby and they're in a 1-bedroom apartment, it's like, it's too small. You're not safe in a 1-bedroom. If grandma dies, you're telling grandma's house, no matter what the interest is. If you're getting a divorce.
Well. We didn't really.
Hey. So group 1. Group 1, what did you, I'm just assuming this is during the front. What did y'all come up with? What was the, what was the thing that you were addressing?
Okay, so I think we were talking about the, making the lateral move.
Okay,
And one of the things that we talked about was really knowing how to do numbers. I think as agents, it's not our, what we say, forte. And so just really knowing, numbers, knowing, like how much equity they have. If they paid off some bills with some of that equity, would that make us, so if they had to make a lateral move, they'd actually be in a better spot? Because, they paid off some bills and then bought another house that's maybe a little bit newer and less work.
I love it.
What was our other thing that we said?
Well, basically, the interest rates,
40
years ago were 15%.
Everything will change.
Oh, yeah, that was the other thing. If they had enough equity, then they could also maybe buy down their interest rates. We also made a good point that once she bought her house and the interest rates were a little bit higher, then when they came down, all of a sudden that neighborhood jumped up. And that was the thing is, like, right now, if you go and buy a house, I'm getting off. My mind's all of a sudden, everything's funny, and we talked about, just trying to sort it out. It's not working. The other thing we talked about is, then it goes blank. Yeah, I'm not the best speaker here.
You are.
Yeah, tell me what it was again. It went in and went out.
She was saying that when she bought her home, her rate was like 7.1, and she had to pay that rate for several years. But she bought for like 181,000, and then a handful, I don't know how many years.
I think it was like 3 or 4.
Okay, so like 5 years. She was able to change her rate like down to 3.1, and her house went from 181,000 to 400,000. So we just have to remind our clients, like, now is now, and then now it's not going to be forever. So like we have to look into our crystal ball.
I don't know what the other thing is. to
Oh,
say.
there's another.
So when you have your oh my gosh, what is wrong with what was it talking about? Oh, when you're doing examples. Okay, the examples, yeah. So when I saw this on social media, so you have your example and you could show them that in 2020 or 2022, you could show that this is the offer I made and it was $40,000 to $100,000 over asking. I wasn't doing inspections. We were doing quick closings, very little inventory, so you didn't have the inventory to choose from. And now you can show them, hey, here is what you have. You have options. You can do your inspections. You know, you can ask to get your interest rate pinned down. You have actual options now, which you didn't before.
Using those as case
That was
studies.
a rough one.
No, I think that's great. And so knowing your numbers, helping them to see how to make it possible, and then being skilled at explaining why they would want to do that now, what the investment is there, what the long-term play is, and then building case studies. Love that. I want to make you talk one more time, but I'm not going to.
Obviously.
But looking at your September awards and then just knowing that while this may not be your very best year in your career, it's up there.
But it's better than last year.
Yeah, you're up from last year. I'd love for you to maybe just while we're having the chili cook-off, just share with people what it is that has worked with your mindset, because I think that is more than anything critical to being able to achieve that. I think mindset, because when you get your mindset right, then you are in the place to see the opportunity. And I feel like you have seen and taken on a lot of opportunities in this market that that you haven't necessarily gone after previously. So hit up Shauna during the chili social hour. All right, how about this group? What issue did you address and what did you come up with?
We tackled the 8.1% interest rates and they might go higher. And so we talked about really the big thing with interest rates is it's not that it's an 8.1% interest rate, but it's the buyer's payment moving into that 8.1% interest rate. So looking for opportunities where you can, one, first and foremost, have the discussion about what's the monthly payment they're comfortable with. And then looking for opportunities to get them more for that monthly payment. So builder rate buy downs, special incentive rates with builders, asking the seller for rate buy downs, even offering to pay a little higher purchase price, including a significant seller credit to lower that overall monthly payment.
Love it. All right, group 3, bring it home.
We're all over the place because we also picked the same stuff, but we're gonna do a little tangent.
Love it.
And we're gonna talk about what you mentioned, and then she's gonna follow up with some awesome information.
Art, did I? I'm all over. Oh. The market is slow and I don't know that I want to work a lot harder than I have. And actually up my game. Because KW, you should be talking to your top 50 all the time. Well, if I talk to my top 50 all the time, I'm gonna get even busier and more freaked out, and do I wanna work that hard? Secondly, I've tried for many years to get those things done, and, you know, maybe I ought to just focus elsewhere, but the reality is, as the market slows down, and Coco said, well, here's the new stats, and I'll let her take it.
All right, let's hear the stats, Coco.
So I went to an awesome conference over the weekend in Florida. It's called Leverage, and this was super interesting. So these are the calls required to get one closing. Okay, we're gonna go year by year. So in 2019, you needed to make 167 calls to get one closing. In 2020, 134 calls would get you one closing. 2021, when everything was super hot, super cray, 127 to get one closing. From there, the numbers go up. 2022, you had to make 165 to get one closing. And this year, you have to make 222 calls in order to get one closing. So these are stats that they've tracked over the years within their company. And it's like, it's proof that in order to get that closing, we have to be working harder and making more calls.
Yeah. And here's what I love about that. That's within every single person's control to do. So when you look at the idea of the market is slow and fewer people are transacting and there's fewer transactions, you don't have control over that. You do have control over, did I get on the phone and make 222 calls? And if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. And if you make 222 calls and you smoke the averages and that's 3 closings, I don't think anyone's going to be crying about that. So really, to me, like, the best thing to shine light on any of these is to identify, what do I have control over? What do I not have control over? How do I let all of this go and just focus on staying in my own lane about what I have control over? We don't have control over what happened with the NIR lawsuit, but we do have control over building our skills, learning how to convey that story in a powerful way, and adjusting potentially how we work with buyers to get our buyer agency commission. That's something that I have control over, and so then I don't have to feel like the sky is falling. So looking at any of these to see what can you control.
I think too, like, right now I've got a few buyers and sellers kind of on the fence with this whole interest rate thing, or working out things before they can list their property to sell. And so when things feel like they're just slow and nothing's really actually happening, and I'm still doing the work, I take that time to fine tune systems, or create a business plan, or modify a business plan, or do those things that are going to help me maybe next month, or the next month, or the next month. So I think even when the market is slowing down, if the holidays coming up, we tend to see a bit of a slowdown. Do those things are gonna make next year awesome.
Smack that. All right, well, thank you for all being here, and thank you for being so festive. And make sure that you judge in the chili cook-off, and have a happy Halloween.